Once a global benchmark, Cadillac fell into disrepair for decades, but is now billing itself as the standard of the world. While an untrue statement, the brand's products are much improved, and they've had a lot of success trading in their comfy old man luxury image for one that's dedicated to performance. And that really all came to light a couple years ago when they launched the CTS-V, taking on the BMW M5 on the Nürburgring and dominating it. Now Cadillac is looking to live up to its boast. With BMW in its sights once again, it has launched this car, the new 2013 ATS, to challenge the untouchable 3 Series. And where better to find out than at a racetrack. With the ATS, Cadillac is giving you a choice of 3 engines, including a base 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, something that nobody else in this segment is offering. Now, it makes a modest 202 horsepower and 191 foot-pounds of torque. Now, if you want to go all the way to the top of the line, big 3.6-liter direct injection V6, that's right here, and you get 321 horsepower and 275 foot-pounds of torque. And it also comes with a mid-range engine, something that's going to be the volume for this car. It's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with direct injection. Now, it makes 272 horsepower, which is 32 horsepower more than you'll get in the BMW 328i, and it makes an equal 260 foot-pounds of torque. As for what those power numbers mean in the real world, that turbocharged engine will do a 0 to 60 in just 5.7 seconds. Now, you can get even faster with the V6 at 5.4 seconds, and that base 4-cylinder I mentioned, it'll do it in a slow but not terrible 7.5 seconds. No matter what segment you're shopping in these days, fuel economy is important. And while not quite as good as the BMW, the ATS is quite impressive at 22 miles per gallon in the city and 33 in the highway. What is impressive is that if you opt for that much more powerful turbocharged engine, you only lose 1 mile per gallon on the highway compared to the base 4-cylinder. And if you opt for the V6, which if you have an awesome turbocharged 4-cylinder, I don't know why you would, you'll get 19 miles per gallon in the city and 28 on the highway. Priced competitively, the car starts at $33,990, but you're not going to want the 4-cylinder anyway. Instead, you should opt up for the 2-liter turbocharged engine, which it costs just under $36,000. And if you want the big V6, it'll cost just over $42,000. But basically what you're looking at is spending just around $40,000 if you want something like the turbocharged 4-cylinder with a whole lot of goodies packed on. A well-executed interior. It's not quite amazing, but then the same can be said for many of this vehicle's German rivals. What I do like is that it's very driver-focused, especially these nice sport seats that really hold you in the seat, which hopefully we'll find out soon on the racetrack. The whole vehicle just feels perfectly laid out for a real driver. One thing I don't like is that the shift knob on the manual transmission, it just kind of lacks passion. The leather looks kind of cheap, and there are some small instances of that around the car. What I do like, though, really helps to improve the interior here, is you've got this great gloss black on the dash and on the steering wheel here, and it really helps to give this modern impression of a new Cadillac brand. All but the base ATS model will come with Cadillac's new Q infotainment system. Now, this is a very revolutionary new product for them, and it does a lot of cool things. It operates a lot like you would an iPad or an iPhone, meaning you can just slide through different menus with your finger, and you can actually zoom in on the navigation screen just by pinching it, which is nice. It's not quite as fluid in operation as, say, an iPhone or an iPad, but we hope future generations will get there. Keeping things modern is this optional, beautiful, deep red leather interior and the very first use of carbon fiber in a regular production Cadillac, and yes, it actually is real. Specs aside, it's on the racetrack where the ATS is either going to succeed or fail, and it definitely succeeds. The manual transmission I really love on the street, but I find that here on the racetrack, when you're asking a lot of it, you have to be a bit more methodical in your use. As for the brakes, they are fully capable. We're having the opportunity here to test two different engines on the racetrack, both the 2-liter turbo and the V6. And the V6 really sounds like a monster. It's a shame that you can only get it with a automatic transmission, but that auto box is really good. Downshifts really fast, a lot like the 7-speed unit that AMG uses. As for that 2-liter engine, it's seriously impressive as well. It is turbocharged but does not feel it in the slightest, which is great. It's a lot like the new engine that BMW has in the 328i. Is it prone to understeer? Well, that all depends. Sure, with the traction and stability control on it is, but you do have the option of a competition mode, which lets you have a little bit more fun. And of course, you could turn all the systems on. And that's really the best way to drive this car. You can feel the lightness and the amazing balance that it offers, and really lets you dive into the corner. You'll come in a little bit more cautious, you'll get a little less understeer as a result, and then you can really just power it out with the rear end. With a nearly perfect 50-50 weight distribution and weighing less than any of its rivals, Cadillac's efforts certainly have not gone to waste. You can really feel the balance in this car. It's very nimble, and all that makes it predictable and exceptionally easy to control. Price, fuel economy, features, sure, they're all important, but what you want to know is the Cadillac ATS better than the BMW 3 Series? Heck, is it even close? Well, the answer to that last question is absolutely. In fact, it's closer than anyone has ever come before. The Cadillac ATS now joins an elite group of machines, those that aren't just good for a sporty and luxurious drive to the office, but are also legitimate performance machines on a racetrack. For more on this review and others like it, visit autoguide.com.